Mm-hmm. So we have people in here. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Everybody, we are back. It is Tato and Live's Favorite Raiders podcast, Favorite Raiders channel, Favorite Raiders everything. We are back. You guys already know what to do. Hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Hit the like button if you like it. Hit the dislike button if you don't like it. Leave a comment if you like it. Leave a comment if you don't like it. Also follow us on Twitter at @TheMarkJohnNFL for me, and then at MHolder95 for Matt as well. And of course, shout out my band BD at BD Williams 18. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to BD. All right, guys. So we're doing a live Q&A. I already see the questions popping in already. I really appreciate you guys coming in here and asking me some questions. And we'll just talk some football. Have some fun today. What we got? So thoughts on Bo Nix. All right. So Bo Nix, I really felt like he had some really good tape last year. I thought that he had coming out of Oregon, coming from Auburn, there's a lot of bad talk about him. And then he had that terrible game against Georgia. I really thought he had some good film. It's going to be interesting to see where he goes. I think a lot of people have him going number 3 right now as the third quarterback. I'm not sure. I haven't seen too many quarterback lists, dealing with the Raiders and stuff like that and diving into this tape and, getting upset. But Bo Nix, I did like his film. I thought he was going to come out last year, but I guess he stayed for another year. I was pretty high on him coming out. I thought he had looked really good in that offense that he ran at Oregon. So I was really kind of excited to see where he's at. So we'll see, though. I don't know. The Raiders pick a 7. I think there's going to be a litter of quarterbacks they can actually take. It depends on who comes out and, the talent that they like. I think there's a lot of good, talented guys out there. All right. I see some. I'm just going to go down. Thoughts on Wilson's last game? Wilson is just right now, he just does the same damn move all the time. I feel like that's kind of bothering me a little bit. It's the same damn move all the damn time. Like, let's mix it up. You know what I mean? Like, I've seen you do other moves in college. I don't know what it is. He's just forcing this bull rush. He just, boom, his bull rush every single time. And you going up against Rashawn Slater, like, that's not going to work, dog. You know what I mean? So he tried to do some other moves against Slater because it just wasn't working, that bull rush. He's got to switch it up, man. I don't know what's happening with that, man. It's just, maybe it's a mindset that he has that he thinks he could just run through guys. Maybe he's trying to think too much. Maybe he feels like he's doing too much there, but it's not working. He just keeps doing the same damn thing. So I don't know. He's got to mix it up if he wants to get better at this. That's for sure. All right. So we got, where has BD been? BD, he's been chilling, man. He kind of just, if the Raiders are the Raiders right now, man. So I could feel how it's kind of hard to like get up and watch this film and break it down and cut it up and do a hour-long breakdown and do all these things. I feel a little bit, get a little break. You know what I'm saying? Kind of fall in love with it a little bit more. I think have a time to miss it. I believe because sometimes this can start to feel like a little bit of a job because we started this for fun. Since we started this for fun and we came here just to do all this, we weren't expecting this to get this big. You know what I mean? Like a demand. so it can wear on you a little bit too. So that's a little bit about what's happening with BD. All right, what else you got here, guys? What? Let's go down the line here. Does any record get Josh fired during the season? Hell yes. I honestly, for real, I think if they get embarrassed this week to the Packers or something like that, there might be some high chatter. You know what I mean? Some serious chatter there. I don't know. It's already starting to to happen a little bit. And I feel like that's why he's putting Jimmy back out there. He's trying to force Jimmy back out there to kind of get some kind of, so he can maybe get a win, because maybe he didn't like Aiden's performance enough, all the turnovers that maybe he had, and he was kind of just a little bit bothered by that. It's gonna be interesting to see how the season goes along, but they got to play better, man. They got to play better for sure, like big time. They got to play better. If they don't play really well this week, it's all eyes are on Josh, because he got rid of Derek Carr. You got rid of Darren Waller. All these things are on him at this point. Eyes are on him. He did that when he got rid of Derek Carr. Derek Carr was the shield for coaches. John Gruden used him as a shield, like pow, 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 pow. Derek Carr is gonna get thrown under the bus first by like every writer and most of these people, right? Derek Carr's gone. There's no more shield. It's just the coach. So he's got to face the music if he doesn't mix it up here. You know what I mean? All right. How do we become Raiders fans? I became a Raiders fan because Marcus Allen. My middle name is Marcus Allen. It was just natural. And I just stayed like a weirdo. I don't know why I stayed. I stayed through the pain, guys. Don't know why, but I did. I'm a loyal Raiders fan. BD, he's from Sacramento, so that's he's more a natural Raiders fan. But that's why I love the Raiders because of Marcus Allen, the players, and Mystique, and just learning the history of football and stuff like that. Who do you want as the Raiders' next head coach? Let me see. All right, Dan Quinn is a good guy because I think Dan Quinn is a defensive coach that likes quarterbacks. I think it's a big thing for me with defensive coaches. Do you like quarterbacks? Because Vic Fangio doesn't like quarterbacks. So what happened with Drew Lock? Drew Lock came out the other day. He looked all right coming out. Is that somebody that maybe people missed on just because Vic Fangio hates quarterbacks and thinks they get treated too well and they get pampered too much? Bill Belichick had a weird relationship with Tom Brady that way a little bit. And, Tom Brady was always scared of getting cut because just the defensive mind of a head coach, they just treat quarterbacks like they're not special, right? You're just another part of the guy. So when you have a defensive coach like that, like Brian Flores, like what he did to Tua, who knows what that was doing to Tua at that point in time. So if you have that situation with a defensive head coach, you got to like quarterbacks. I think he does. He worked pretty well with Matt Ryan, somebody like him. But if they don't, man, I think they got to find somebody who could lead people really well. And I think that's what I talked about that on the instant reaction. If you don't find somebody who can lead people, it doesn't matter. Like we talk about Josh McDaniels, all this offense he could do, right? All this offense he could do. It don't matter if he's not a leader. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, guys? I don't know. What else we got here? Getting through here. Can the O-line get it together this week? I don't know. It's going to be tough. I think this week's going to be a little tougher for them on the outside because of Gary and Preston Smith, but I think Colt Miller could hold Preston Smith. I think he could do pretty well against Rashawn Gary. Illuminor is the one I'm questioning a little bit and see how they mix it up with him and Mumford, because Mumford played a little right tackle like early on, and then like later on it kind of went back to Illuminor, and then he just get beaten again. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Prediction, is he talking about when did they get cut or Josh McDaniels? I'm not sure about this question. I don't know. Remember when we were grinding back here? Yes, I do, Marcus. I remember that. I wanted the Raiders to draft Kyler Murray in 2019. I did. I did. I'm not gonna lie. And who knows how that would have went? I don't know how that would have went, but yeah, man, just grinding the Raiders wire. That's where it started, man. Raiders wire, scouting academy, doing all that stuff, man. What else we got? Can we get the run game going this week? Probably not, man. You gotta. That run blocking is not great. It's not great, man. I don't know what to tell you there. When is ALPA dropping? Chris, he got sick, so he lost his voice this week. So that's why we didn't do this week. We'll be back next week, though. I'm going to come out with my little MVP list. I use adjusted net yards per attempt. We got some weeks going. We kind of go over the MVP so far. It's a weird year for quarterbacks, but, it's probably we're kind of in the Patrick Mahomes default era. We're like, if nobody's better than Patrick Mahomes, we're going to give it to Patrick Mahomes. So, but we're going to be talking about that next week. All right. What we got? The improvement first on the clock firing stage. See, I think if they let's say they keep spiraling here, right? Because what they got the Packers, they got the Patriots, which these are two games. Those are teams that are both the Packers are 2-2. They don't look very good. They got lucky against the Saints, I believe, and then the Patriots, they can't. They are in like a quarterback controversy. So I think these next 2 games will tell a lot about Josh McDaniels. Like if they go 1-5, like really, how is that going to get better? Are they going to finish the season better? What's going to change? Like, is there going to be better quarterback play from Jimmy Garoppolo? Like they chose that quarterback. If that's the problem, so it's, and I don't think Davis has that much patience as people think. He does not have that much patience. It's a great middle name, Marcus. It's an awesome middle name. For real, guys. All right. Let's see. Thoughts on Raheem Morris. Now, I think Raheem Morris is probably be a pretty good head coach too. Defensively, I think he's a little bit more dependent on players for his defense. I think if he doesn't have the players, his defense is going to be good. And maybe you can say that for most NFL teams, but I think some NFL coaches, they can like figure it out. Like the guy from the Bengals, he's kind of taking some young guys and can scheme it up and to make guys better than they actually are. I don't think Raheem Morris can really do that. So we would have to load up on defense to really make his defense work. And he might do that, and that's fine. But I don't think he hates quarterbacks that much. That's one of the things for him. That's my thing with defense coaches. I'm telling you guys, some defense coaches do not like quarterbacks. You hire Buddy Ryan, it just doesn't work out all the time. No, Lincoln Riley. Lincoln Riley just lets those guys have too much fun. He's not very for Las Vegas for me. He just lets people. They're having fun in Oklahoma. They're liking fun and over there. Baker Mayfield, those type of guys. I don't trust Lincoln Riley. I've heard some things about Oklahoma. I don't trust the way he would lead grown men, right? I mean, college, you can do some things, and you have Caleb Williams, he can really just show up and kind of scheme it up, and he's going to make it happen. But it's not like that in the NFL. You kind of have to keep on these guys, and that's what's difference between college and NFL is that sometimes the college coach comes in and he wants to be, super tough on everybody, like he was, or the college coach comes in and he's like Cliff Kingsbury, he's a little bit too loose, right? You can't be loose with NFL players. So, you could be loose with Johnny Manziel at Texas A&M, but I know damn NFL players, All right. Why did it take a step back? Okay, this is a good question. So I think it's a couple of things. I think Josh Jacobs was not ready to play like week 1 and week 2. He just looked really slow. The last 2 weeks, he's looked a lot more refreshed. So we kind of got a better idea of what's the problem with the run game. So I think it's a couple of things. I think they don't have a blocking tight end right now. I think it's a big deal for how this offense works. So they're trying to figure out who's the blocking tight end. I thought O.J. Howard did a pretty damn good job for that for the Texans. So I don't know why they cut him. I don't know what they saw, but he didn't get the ball thrown to him with the Texans either. All he did was block. So I don't understand what their thought process was there. I don't know. But now they don't have a blocking tight end. Austin Hooper, he's a wide guy. Mayer loves the block, but he just really he's an okay blocker, but he likes to block. So, but they made him the blocking tight end, and he's getting beat up a little bit out there. I think he's blowing up a lot of the plays. I'll keep it honest. And it's not, Van Roten, he's not getting any push. I think Barrs got more push than him, but Barrs is so bad at pass protection that it's in the NFL these days, you can't have a guy that's that bad at pass protection. I don't care how good you run block. Maybe they can bring him in. I don't know what they want to do with that. But I think Van Roten is just more fit for what they want to do in the passing game. But I just don't think he gets a lot of push, right? And I don't think any of these guys get a lot of push. I think Dylan Parham, I think he's built for an outside zone game and something where there's a lot of passing, because I think he's a really good pass blocker, but as a run blocker, he's a little iffy, right? But I still think there's something there with that. But it's just they're not getting a lot of push either, because they're really finesse offensive linemen. There's no big, powerful guys, especially in the interior. You got Andre James, you got Dylan Parham, and you got Greg Van Roten. There's no monster there, right? So the power run game that they want to run, they don't have power linemen. So it don't work. And so hopefully that answers your question, because that's a lot of it too. If you don't have the power linemen, you got these linemen that are built for zone games, and you're trying to run these pulls and have these guys running counters and trying to have Dylan Parham take on Khalil Mack head to head. Like, that's not gonna work, man. These guys gotta be like moving that laterally, and so they can get some blocks. Because when they block outside zone, they look pretty good. Andre James, he is who he is, but you know how that goes, guys. All right. Who's my favorite Raider of all time? I see this one. How bad is Josh McDaniels? He's real bad, man. Obviously, guys. He's awful. He's awful. Who's my favorite Raider of all time? I want to say Marcus Allen. I do, but I'm gonna go Charles Woodson because when I played high school football, I was 25 because I was after Charles Woodson. So that was my dude. I used to wear my gloves like his. Big Charles Woodson fan, so I'm gonna say Charles Woodson. All right, over under how many Dagger concepts we see on third down this week. I'm gonna go 5. I'm gonna go 5 to over under. We're gonna see 5 daggers this week. 5 dagger concepts. Will he throw the dagger concepts? That's a different question. Will it be backside? We won't see it on the TV. Maybe we won't see it until we see all 22. But I'm going with 5 because it's at least 5 a game, right? All right. Can the defense do it again this week? I think they got a chance to make some noise. This offensive line is terrible. I'm watching Aiden Hutchinson just ruin this right tackle. That's where Maxx Crosby lines up. He should ruin that guy too because he's better than Aiden Hutchinson. So I expect a big week from Maxx again. You saw Adam Butler had a really damn good week last week. So they were able to get some pressure inside. And then I think Mountain Coos is starting to feel like he could play in the NFL. I think he's getting more confident. So especially like beating a tackle like Rashawn Slater, I think it was a big deal for him making that move. So I think the secondary is interesting because it's like they're playing well, but teams aren't attacking them. But I don't think this team will be able to attack them either, or the team next week. So I think they're going to get a couple breaks here. So I want to see how they play. I think they should have some good weeks, especially these next 2 weeks when they're not playing these dynamic offenses. You got Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs coming into town. It's nobody that should really scare you. So it's gonna be interesting. If they fire McDaniels, do they have to fire Ziegler? I would say yes, because what is Ziegler gonna do? He's gonna hire a Patriots guy. I know Nick Caserio. He went and got DeMeco Ryans, so maybe Caserio, he kind of left the Patriots way. He brought in the West Coast offense. He left Erhard Perkins, right? Maybe Dave Ziegler would do that. But that would be my thought process. Because Nick Caserio comes from the Patriots, and, the Texans were basically Patriots South. They're running all the same offense. But now they run the West Coast offense. They brought a West Coast look. They brought San Francisco 49ers guys in there. They brought in DeMeco Ryans. That would be how I would feel about Ziegler. Because who is the Patriots guys out there that they could hire? Right now. What? Bill O'Brien? He has a winning record. You don't want to be somebody like that because that's something that they might do. That might be Bill O'Brien or Brian Flores. And, I always talk about, I use him as an example. You're going to let Brian Flores draft a quarterback again? No, I'm not doing that. So I have to have an established quarterback to bring in Brian Flores. Because I'm not letting him draft and, do whatever he wants to do with quarterbacks and not feel like they need to be, a little bit elevated on the team. They're important. So, and I know it's like a kicker defensive guy. I know they just sit on the sideline during special teams. They don't do anything. They got red jerseys on just like kickers. I get it. But you need those damn guys. So, so this is a good question. I got to see him play more, to be honest. It's one game. He's going to need more reps. But I don't know. It also depends how high. Let's say Josh McDaniels gets fired here, right? Let's just play the scenario. Josh McDaniels gets fired, and they bring in a new coach, and maybe the new coach, they end up picking like 9 or something stupid, right? And the new coach is like, he decides to get the best defensive player, and he decides to roll with Aiden O'Connell for the year. You know what I mean? And because if you're bad, then you end up getting another quarterback or whatever. That's when we can get to see how he plays. Because, we haven't really seen it. We saw him play. We don't know if he was really getting first team reps. That was a rumor. We don't know that for sure. But I got to see him play more before I even go to that. I need more reps, because who knows? It could be like a Kyle Allen situation or something stupid like that, where it looks good for a little bit and then just goes ugly, right? And that's what we want to see. We want to see that first. Are you a backup or are you a starter? And we haven't really made a decision because he looked half backup, half starter. So I would need him to be more consistent here, man. Yeah. So, oh man, I knew this was you, Trey, because you asked him about Kirby Smart, man. I'm tell you, I don't know about the college coaches, man. Let's leave Kirby at Georgia so he can win you some more national championships. Let him stay there. Let him stay there, man. Let's see, Louis Riddick for GM. That wouldn't be too bad. That would not be too bad, but we'll see, man. I don't know. You got to find like what teams have great scouting departments right now. I think like the Bengals. We did end up. What about the guy who's already there? Like Champ Kelly. Is it Champ Kelly? Because that might be a good candidate to praise Ziegler too, and he might hire some people too, and they might go with him. They might go with Champ. If that's his name, I might be saying that wrong. Sorry, guys. What did the Bills do last week? Is Vic Fangio actually terrible? Okay, so Vic Fangio, I wouldn't say he's terrible. I just don't think like he needs the players for his system to work. He needs great safeties. All right, because the safeties move around so much and they're doing all this funky stuff. I don't know who the safeties are for Javon Holland. I guess off the top of my head, but I don't know who the other guy is, right? If you think about the Denver, who do you have? He had Kareem Jackson, right? He had Kareem Jackson, and he had Justin Simmons. I can't, the better one. I can't think of his name for the better guy. Justin Simmons, right? And Justin Simmons can play man. He can do all these things. You can move him all around. He can come intercept passes. Kareem Jackson do the same thing, and then, he has some pretty decent corners over there in Denver, but the safeties made it happen. You go to you go to San Francisco, and he's in San Francisco, same way. You go and he's Chicago. He had Eddie Jackson. He has these great safeties that he can move around and do crazy things with, and that's what kind of makes his offense. And he doesn't really have those guys over there. And what did the Bills do last week? I think the Bills. See, the Dolphins are interesting. Okay, everybody's talking about the Dolphins. You're so great, so great. But the Dolphins are like a run-read football team. Okay, so Tua, what he does his thing, like the slide thing that Tom Brady used to do when he does his drop, and he's just anticipating, he's just throwing the ball. He's expecting the window to be open based on the call and all those things. So if you can get the Dolphins off the first read, that's how you beat the Dolphins. When you make Tua have to go through everything, because everything's so based on his timing, and then he doesn't have the arm to kind of be late somewhere. So everything's based off anticipation and timing with him. If you can get them off the timing, yeah, you'll have the overthrows and him trying to force anticipation throws and him throwing picks and all those things. And that's how you can really beat the Dolphins. And and that's what the Bills did. That's the formula for sure. Let's see, guys. Let's see. We need to start Mumford. I see. Would you start Mumford? I would, just because, what's the point? If they lose, I would say if they lose this game, that's why I think they have to start doing the young movement. I want to see Chris Smith out there a little bit more, him mix it up with him and Trayvon Moehrig a little bit more, mix up the safeties, put Corey Bennett out there a little bit more, get some of these younger linebackers out there, start the young movement, man. So see what some of these young guys got and, mix it up that way because, get some Trey Tucker some run. Even though he got some run over Renfro last week, I thought that was interesting. I really talked about how Renfro didn't play until Devante Adams came in. That wasn't like mentioned all week, but that was something I thought caught on tape that was crazy. But that's a side point. He's going nowhere. Why do you think that, though? I have a question. Why do you think that Josh McDaniels is just so safe? I don't believe that because, Mark Davis, he's technically, he's got his WNBA thing. They're winning, man. He's got Becky Hammond. He's got the best team. He got all these superstar team, man. They're about to break all these types of records. And he's over here looking at his football team and they're not good. And I'm sure that pisses him off. So I don't know why we think that Josh McDaniels is like this safe guy. Mark Davis is gonna be mad, especially if they get like even let's say we get to like week 10 or something like that. Maybe they won like 2 or 3 games, and I don't know if that's a home game off the top of my head, but if they get like embarrassed at home and it's like a team that had a bunch of people travel to Vegas and they get beat down, you're telling me that impulsive Mark Davis, the guy who fired Jack Del Rio, like he made him tell himself, he's impulsive. So I don't know. I just don't trust that type of thing where like he's just safe. I don't believe it, man. Do we think we can score an average if we can win because the defense, this whole team's I don't know. I don't know. See, the thing is, when your defense is allowing like 23 points a game or whatever, you always said that fearfully you score more points. Do they allow more points? I don't know. It's hard to do that. If we average this much, but because if you score more points, you're probably giving a little bit more possessions to the team because you're doing more explosive plays if you're scoring a lot of points. Because that's the Raiders' real problem. They're last in explosive plays. So how the hell you can't score points in the NFL without explosive plays? It's the red zone, explosive plays. When you're great at both of those, you're a top 5 offense. If you're bad at the red zone and great explosive plays, you're going to be maybe a good offense. If you're good in the red zone and good in explosive plays, you're probably going to be halfway a great offense. But you have to have explosive plays. You have to have a mixture of both. And the Raiders don't have that right now. So I don't know how they're going to score more points. They got to figure out to get explosive. But they don't have a big arm quarterback really either to do that. So I don't know. Thoughts on Bennett so far? I think Ja'Cory Bennett is showing some potential. I believe. I think he could be a starting coordinator in the NFL. He's made some plays. He's gave up some plays. Some things he can work on and get better at. But I think you saw some flashes of things that you can really see. You see the speed. You see he has a good ability to tackle. He's missed some tackles the past couple of games, but he really has shown a pretty good ability to tackle overall. So I kind of like where he's at right now. So, all right, let's see here. What's a win? Do fair NFL. Does Meek get more playing time this week? That's an interesting thought. This is sound crazy, guys. But with Meek in there, they played pretty damn well on defense. He always makes a stupid ass mistake, like this Keenan Allen touchdown. He missed the banjo call, so he went with the out route, and he allowed a stupid touchdown. So that's the Meek's problem. Meek makes he does great. He just has so many mental errors. That's what it is. It's like in the brain. It's like I don't know what it is. Like he just plays on instinct or something like that. I don't know, man. But Nate Hobbs, he's having a really good year though. So, and the game plan for Rashawn Gary, and yes, he is like that. They should have the game plan that they had for 2 last week. So hopefully Preston Smith doesn't go off like Khalil Mack does, because they're all over Thule. They had like 3 or 4 guys over on Thule's side like every time. It was funny to watch. Yeah, man. What we got? Will our tight ends get looks this week? Mayer's been open. He's getting open. There's a lot of talent. Aiden O'Connor had him on a play. He just didn't throw it for some reason. He fumbled. They got to get these tight ends involved. Somebody's got to throw them the ball. I don't know if they're not getting their name called though. I think that's the point. But if you're got some pressure and there's a chip and the tight end's wide open, throw them the damn ball. I don't know. The Gruden coaching tree. So that's basically the Shanahan tree. Yeah. There is Frank Smith from the Dolphins, but I don't know if he's a leader. So I don't. That's my thing. Are you a leader, bro? like that's what they're doing in Miami is really cool. But I don't know Frank Smith. That's a big thing. With that. How many more losses for Tay asked for a trade? I don't. Where would he go though? There's so much dead cap. I think he's kind of stuck. He's a little stuck. Maybe to the offseason. I could see that being a thing in the offseason, maybe. But if Josh McDaniels does get fired, we get a new coach, there's no way he traded Devante Adams. There's no way. Because they'd probably get a coach that Devante would like. You know what I mean? So I think that would be a thing later on if he did get that. But I don't know. It all depends if Josh is here next year, because maybe if Josh does make another year, I think they might trade Devante in the offseason. But if he doesn't, then I think that Devante would stay, because he would help pick the coach, like Mark Davis would, and like cater to him to make that happen. Right. So who could get traded? Hunter Renfrow. Now that guy, I'm telling you, he was literally benched last week. I don't know what that was about, but he literally did not play until Devante Adams got hurt. So they were in 11 personnel. They'd bring in Carter. They'd bring in Tucker. I don't know what that's about. You know, I don't know what the hell that's about. If they fire these guys, whoever brings in, draft a quarterback in the first round. Please. That's how you start a rebuild. You can't start a rebuild until you draft a damn quarterback. That's what they're wasting their time, man. Like this year, like you bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, you don't draft a guy into the fourth round. Like, what are we doing? We don't have. What are we building with? We're gonna build until the quarterback's ready to go. At this point, nah, you already had the guys. All you do is draft a quarterback now, and then your rebuild starts. So your rebuild does not start until you draft one. And then you try to build around them, and you either miss on them and you suck at building around him, or you build around him and you build a contender and he's really good. And that's how you do it, man. Because, I mean, you got to think of every team that rebuilt themselves from the bottom. It starts with a damn quarterback. I mean, even the Lions, the Lions are a little different. They had Jared Goff, but Jared Goff was still like around 27. And, he just had some beef with Sean McVay, and he's really not that bad. But, they didn't draft a quarterback either. They decided to stick with him and build with him, right? Kind of what John Gruden did with Derek Carr. He just stuck with Derek Carr and built around Derek Carr. But we don't have nobody that's 27 right now. So we need to draft a quarterback to rebuild. That's my message. If they ever listen, they listen to this, and whoever's hearing this, draft a quarterback. There's really no way around it. You have to draft the quarterback. It's just no way around it. So yeah, we did talk about. I talked about this a little earlier. Defensive coaches, I'm cool with it as long as they like quarterbacks. That's why I like Dan Quinn. That's a good one, and he has a winning record. And I think defenses like playing for him. And the thing is, if we bring in Dan Quinn, we got the Gus Bradley guys here. Plug and play. They house is right back comfortable. You know what I'm saying? Devante Adams might play a little better because he's comfortable again. We got those guys. Trayvon Moore could do his thing a little bit more. We got the guys for Dan Quinn. It would be easy for him to do it. So, I mean, that's why it wouldn't be too bad, man. Rex Riot. Do I think he should get fired if they keep sucking? Yes. 100%. 100%. Let's see. What else we got here, man? Who do you like better? Drake May, Penix, or Cam Ward? First, I think that Drake May is the better of these guys, right? But I like Cam Ward more than I like Penix. I think Cam Ward has a lot of talent, very underrated guy. I don't know if he'll go first round because there's a whole cluster of guys, right there. But I think it's somebody you can grab in the second round if the Raiders decide they don't want to do that. But what I'm saying is first or second round quarterback, please. That's where we got to go. We can't get to the third round and decide we want to. No developmental guys here. We want guys that can start at some point, I do like Cam Ward, though. A big Cam Ward fan. I really like his film. Drake May, though, Drake May is pretty nuts. And then Penix is underrated, but Penix is like 25, man. He's already like so when you watch, that's the same way I feel about Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is like 30. So yeah, he's balling in college. It's just like 60s, like you know what I mean? It's like a 12-year vet in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing with Michael Penix. Sure. I mean, he didn't look this good when he was like 20. So I don't know. It's just interesting with some of those transfer guys when they're so old and they're in their like 8th year of college football. Yeah, I don't know. Is Tom Brady going to be? I don't know. If Tom Brady picks, we're getting Bill O'Brien, so you don't want that to happen. He's going to recommend him. That's his boy. I do want to say this. This is why I thought the Tom Brady rumors in the offseason were hilarious, because Tom Brady has a documentary on ESPN Plus. Okay, he talks about the Patriots, going to the Patriots way. It's really dope. Kind of see how the Patriots interact, and then you can kind of see his relationship with Josh McDaniels too, as well. If you watch it, and you kind of pay attention to how he feels about Josh McDaniels. Because also one thing, Josh McDaniels is not on that documentary. Everybody else is. Bill O'Brien is. Charlie Weiss is. Josh McDaniels is nowhere to be found. So I always thought that was interesting. It's just little things. You got to notice little things with people, because a lot of people say like, "Oh, I love this guy" in public, but for some reason he couldn't get like a segment on your documentary. He won like what? How many Super Bowls with you as your offensive coordinator? It's that control thing, man. Because Bill O'Brien let him take over the offense, let him write all his own plays, and you are the offensive coordinator, Tom. That's what Bill O'Brien did. And then when Josh comes back, he's like, I'm drafting Jimmy Garoppolo to replace you. So, all right. All right. Hey, Marcus, can you explain why we're averaging 16 points a game? Okay, a couple of reasons why we're averaging 16 points a game. I talked about this earlier. There's no explosive plays. So they're dependent on the red zone, and then we suck there, right? So we suck in the red zone. So we're dependent on going all the way down the field and scoring touchdowns. But we suck in the red zone, so we can't go all the way down the field and score touchdowns. So that's why they're really not scoring a lot of points. So they're not making up for it with like a big 50-yard touchdown, right? Because last year, when they did average, like, I think they were like 12 points and they averaged like 23 a game or something like that, they would have 50-yard touchdowns or a 40-yard touchdown or like a 35-yard touchdown, right? In between sucking in the red zone. But now we just suck in the red zone with no explosive plays. So that's 16 points per game. And that's really, as the NFL, you have to have explosive plays. It is a must. You have to find a way. You can manufacture them. I don't care if it's a wide receiver damn screen like Shanahan. Shanahan don't throw downfield that much, but he manufactures explosive plays. And that's how you got to do it. You got to find a way to manufacture those things. If you're not, bad luck, bro. It ain't doing anything, man. It really isn't. So I don't, that's the answer. They ain't gonna score no points unless they find a way to get explosive plays. All right. Let's see on the line here, man. We'll go to an hour here. What's keeping McDaniels from using our rookies? And Tucker need more targets. Smith and Young need more reps. I think with Mayer, for some reason, he doesn't like using him in 11 personnel. He's not a starting tight end, man. He's the blocking guy. He comes in for 12, and that's it. He's not getting any reps in 11 personnel. 11 personnel is Austin Hooper. So I don't know why they feel like he's not getting reps. But Austin Hooper's not getting targets either. I don't know. When you have Devante Adams, it's hard to kind of share the targets a little bit too. So, I mean, that's a little bit to do with it. Trey Tucker, I think he's going to start to get some more playing time a little bit this week. I think you can see some more of him as well. It's going to be interesting, man, with that one. Which new coach staff would you trust to build around him? Ooh, I like Shane Waldron. That'd be a good one. If they want to go with the offensive guy, I would like that because I think Shane Waldron has built a really great offense around Geno Smith, and especially with Drake May. Caleb Williams he is going to be interesting, man, because it's going to be hard to build an offense around him at first because he's going to have to get used to not being able to do whatever he wants on the field. Because in college right now, he can do whatever the fuck he wants. That means he can come out there and he's going to ball. It doesn't matter who's playing on the other side of the field. It doesn't matter what defensive players you guys. It doesn't matter how much pressure you get on him. He's the best player on the field at all times. He's going to get to the NFL. That's not going to be happening anymore. So that's going to be just that adjustment for him. And that sounds crazy, but that's going to be his biggest adjustment is realizing that he's not the best player on the field. Right. And there's Aaron Donald on the side or some other superstar guy that's not as great as he is. And so he's not gonna be able to do like the little spinning things and, waiting 8 seconds to throw the ball and turning down an easy thing and then spinning 8 times and making 8 guys miss before he throws a superstar touchdown. He's not going to be able to do those things all the time. He's going to be able to do them sometimes, and I'm sure he's going to get away with it and look really great, but he's got to find a way to calm down a little bit, and then you can build a system around him. Because, I mean, if you try to get him to run the West Coast right away, you're going to be mad at yourself. So I think you got to kind of build things around a little bit of his strengths a little bit at first, but then you got to let him figure out the NFL, I think, so he can get better and realize that I just can't wake up and show up on Saturday and kick everybody's ass. I think that's he's got to figure. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a little bit of a, especially him, because he's been doing it for so long that he's going to come in the NFL think he could just do the same things, and he's going to get away with it a little bit, I believe. But I think eventually he's going to have to calm down. Patrick Mahomes, even with him, yeah, he took the league by storm, and I think he had Andy Reid behind him and all that stuff a little bit. But they came to a point, I think it was 2022, they won Super Bowl last year, 2021, when they had that slow start and he was playing really bad. It comes to a head. Like okay, we're just gonna play too high. You just throw deep all the time, and we're gonna keep you in the pocket. So if you can't stay in the pocket and you got to move, and we're gonna make you antsy, you're not gonna play really well. And he struggled, and he had to figure out to play from the pocket. And now now he's halfway a pocket passer. That's pissed me off. I wish he just would fail from there. I wish Patrick Mahomes just went down from there. But he was like, you know what? I'm gonna learn how to play from the pocket, and he does now. And that's what Caleb Williams got to do. He's gonna have to figure that out. So, but we'll see. I mean, that's gonna be on him to figure out if he has a work ethic to do it. But it's got to take a little bit for him to realize that. I know I kind of went on a rant there, but yeah. All right, Harbaugh as the next coach. See, Jim Harbaugh, I think he's a college coach, man. I really do. I think he should stay in college. I don't know how he could handle NFL players over time. I think he would wear down on them, just the way he is. And I always get scared of his offense. His offense scares the hell out of me. Because we all saw it in Baltimore, and everybody complained. I mean, Greg Roman runs Jim Harbaugh's offense, and we all complain, oh my God, he's ruining Lamar Jackson, So, man. But what week does NFL team know their identity? That's a good question. I think an NFL team should know their identity before week 1. I think you should have a game plan of who you are as a team. You should know your talent. You should have some good evaluation through OTAs and minicamp and try to figure out what you exactly want to do. I think you shouldn't be trying to figure out who your identity is mid-season. I think if you're for teams like that, and that's if you're doing that, you're 1-3. Let's just think about it that way. But I still think this team identity, they thought they were going to come and run the damn football, right? Yeah, they got to run the football. That's what their identity is, and they can't. So now they don't know what to do. The Steelers game, they try to pass, and we also had that didn't work. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt, so that's why I kind of laugh. People say that, the Raiders would have won this game. No, we would have saw Brian Hoyer if Jimmy Garoppolo started, because I don't believe Jimmy Garoppolo would have survived sack number 4. So he wouldn't have got past sack 4 last week. All right, Marcus, do you agree that we need Jimmy healthy for the rest of the year to guarantee? That's a funny question, but I don't think Jimmy Garoppolo would last the whole year if he kept playing the way he's playing right now. Hopefully, we need some play to him, man. Need something for that. Let's see what else we got here. Ooh, that's a good question. Well, I'm going to say from Sunday, no, man, it doesn't. Not with these players. I think maybe, let's say last year, maybe like if Derek Carr was here and if the chemistry had Waller and all those guys, maybe Adams got hurt, maybe that would be different. But I think, Jacoby Myers is not a 1 at all, and he can't be a 1. And you kind of saw that when Adams went down, because he becomes the 1. And he just doesn't separate consistently enough. I mean, against halfway, against good corners, against Asante Samuel or Michael Davis, it's to be harder for him to separate, right? And those aren't top-notch corners. Those are just good corners, right? I mean, above average, right? I wouldn't say, Michael Davis has some good plays in place, but he's not beating those guys, right? One-on-one. He might beat Demarius Mathis from the Broncos. He might murder him, but he's not beating those other guys. So it'd be interesting on the dynamic they got with some of these wide receivers. I don't know if that would work, man. They need Devante bad. I'm gonna tell you, the offense when the whole offense fell apart, and you saw all those fumbles for Aiden O'Connell and the team falling apart, is when Devante went out. They were okay with Devante in there to start the game. I mean, they had that touchdown drive, and then Aiden O'Connell missed them on that play action crosser. And then, Adams got hurt, and then the offense just went shit. So I feel like that kind of answered my question was last week to answer that question. Thoughts on Penis? I thought a little thoughts on Penis. I just think he's old. He has really good film, though. He does have good film. It's just the age thing. And are you playing against young kids? Are you just 25 playing against 19-year-olds? You know what I mean? That's my thing with him. That's always a big question. Is he? Are we sure about that, man? I mean, is this inside info? He's struggling with the playbook. I don't know. Maybe he might be just too out. He might just be too outspoken too. He might have said something that he shouldn't have said. That too. That could put you in a doghouse with these guys, right? What's with the McDaniels having vendettas and clear favorite players? Johnson's getting cut for no reason. I love her. Some coaches just have their guys in their ways. They're guys in their ways. So I really can't explain that. He loves John Jenkins. It tells you anything. Like you talk about John Jenkins, you talk about him for like 30 minutes at a press conference. You can talk about Josh Jenkins for that. But he just has his guys, man, that he likes. And, those guys for his outside, they didn't buy into his way or the way he likes to run things. And some of those guys just haven't produced enough to kind of have a say to him, like Devante and Maxx Crosby have, right? So, and all right, let's talk about Alex Barr's run blocking. I had never thought Alex Barr's run blocking was that good. I'm gonna tell you that it's like I just overrated. Never thought it was that great. So I don't think it would make a difference. Some people might disagree with that, but I never saw the film like, oh my God, that's a great run blocker. Maybe like he's a little bit better than Van Roten. I don't think he'd make that big of a difference, to be honest. Because Parham is still not a power guy. Andre James is still not a power guy. And either is Illuminor. He's not a power guy either. So we don't have any power runners. So, and he's just so bad he's so bad at pass protection. He's literally a liability. And you have a quarterback that might get hurt. I was never got to Alex Barr's thing. There's a reason why he never started anywhere else, I don't know. I doubt it, man. Maybe. I doubt it, man. Kellen Moore. Yeah. Let's skip some questions here. I don't skip anybody before I get to that one. Online, the root of the troubles. D-line, cast-offs. Oh, man. I don't know, man. I'm telling you, some of these things are just interesting. People go other places and they play better. So, I don't know. My biggest fear is Josh Jacobs goes with Kyle Shanahan. I'm scared of that for cheap. Because what is the way Josh Jacobs is playing? Like, what is he really going to get at this point? How much is he going to get? Obviously, I know he's catching a lot of passes, but he's in for that Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs backfield. That's for $1 million, $5 million, like $3 million, something stupid that I don't want to even think about at this point in time. No, there's nothing to justify. There's also nothing to justify running the same play you ran the previous red zone possession. Because for some reason you think this is high school football and they're just getting like wait a second, like this is the NFL, man. Unless it's like running the football, the only thing you can like run like multiple times at somebody back to back to back is like a power run when you're like just manhandling somebody, taking away their manhood as a running the football. But besides that, man, if you can run 2 plays in a row and pass, especially in the red zone, I just don't even want to talk about that play. I don't know. What else we got? Am I skipping anything? We got Kellen Moore. I talked about that one. Kellen Moore would be a pretty good head coach, I believe. I think it was with Kellen is just like I think he's a little bit too creative sometimes, and he's a little tough on it. He's tough on his offensive players. Like he would need a quarterback that is very cerebral, so he could adjust to what Kellen Moore wants to do every single week. It's brand new every week with Kellen. So, I mean, that's like this week. They for some reason this week they just threw the ball down the field. They just basically just stepped back and just chucked it as far as they could, and that was their game plan. There really was no like short passing this week or anything like that. They didn't try to short pass on us. They just threw it downfield, man. So it'd be interesting to see if it would with him. But I mean, that's somebody that might attract Kellen Moore, Mark Davis, because then you draft a quarterback, you got an offensive guy. So, yeah. What else we got? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe he might. Like I said, I think it depends on the coach, because even if they go into a rebuild or they have a new coach, I still think there's some good players on offense that are already there, right? And they just got to draft a quarterback, in my opinion, and then you start building around there. But, maybe Devante, to me, sometimes I feel like, Devante's eating. He's okay. As long as he's getting closer to Jerry Rice's, in 1,000 receptions and stuff like that, he's still putting up touchdowns, he'll be a little bit okay. Right. And I'm sure losing does bother him, but also does getting to 100 receiving touchdowns. So as long as that's happening, I think it's going to be a little bit of both. So they're both important to him. So I think so. Arm talent, bro. Arm talent like crazy, and he can move. He can run. So, I mean, I think he runs he at least runs a high 4.6. Arm talent. That's what the Raiders need. Why is Bryce Young struggling? I think it adjusts to the NFL, being a little bit shorter too, and also I think he has nobody to throw to. I think trading DJ Moore was crazy. They basically traded the guy he could throw to so they could draft him, and now he has nobody to throw to. So it's very interesting. I love when they draft like third round guys and like deep second round guys. Like, this guy's gonna be the starter, and it's like it doesn't work that way in the NFL that much. I mean, I guess there's a lot of first round receiver busts like earlier on, but like lately these days it hasn't hit that way. But can they move Illuminor to left guard? No, you can't move Illuminor to left guard. He'll get the run game be worse. It's just hard to fix the run game at this point, guys. I'm telling you right now. It just is. A lot of it last year was Jacobs being superhuman, and he's not being superhuman this year. Like he's not making tackles and breaking this and this, that. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So it's not like that. So, do you and BD got beef? No, man. Me and BD still talk every day. I actually talked to him today. We talk every day still. So nah, there's no beef. Yeah. But yeah, he's just taking a hiatus, man. He's taking a hiatus. But yeah, we speak every day, bro. And we still talk Raiders and stuff like that. He just, I send him videos and I have no idea what defense it is. I send him the video, so we're good. We're good on that. Over under on 5 years for a Raiders winning record. I like this question. I'm gonna go under. I'm gonna be positive with this. I'm gonna put some positive, energy in the air with this. I think they can. I think I don't know. I feel like if they're going to get a quarterback, I think we're in the last year of the quarterback purgatory. For some reason, they ended quarterback purgatory. We were in like an elite quarterback purgatory, which is like the top of the quarterback purgatory list you can get. And then he decided to go back to the bottom of quarterback purgatory this year. I don't know why they did that, but that's fine. So now we got to go and get a guy, and I believe they will. I don't know if it's going to be this regime, but I just have a feeling they're going to get their guy this year, and and they'll make it happen. And that guy, they'll be able to grow with somebody. I think it's about time. It's about time. No, they can't trade Maxx, man. Can't trade Maxx. I'll say this: anybody who thinks to trade Maxx, if you haven't watched the quarterback documentary with Patrick Mahomes, go watch that, and go watch Maxx Crosby play against Patrick Mahomes. That dude needs to be a Raider for life, in my opinion. I watched that, like, dude, that you are a Raider, dog. You can't go nowhere. I don't know how we keep him here. Whatever they got to do, he's got to have like that JJ Watt like walk off like after 11 years or something like that. Like we can't trade Maxx Crosby. That'd be crazy. He needs like that walk off type of thing. So, Yeah, man. Yeah. Because I'd be like, Mac, man, we already traded Khalil Mack, which, that was crazy. I don't know what the hell they were thinking. That was stupid. They should have let his ass sit out. I would let his ass sit out a couple games and let him think about it. You ain't going nowhere, bro. I don't know what you. You go nowhere. I don't care. We'll figure it out. That was just impulsive from Davis and Gruden on that one. I don't even want to talk about this. You're hitting a sore spot here because that would fix all the issues in my opinion. Just put him on the right side, and then he plays better from the run game there too. They just, I don't know who's going to be able to play left guard, but I mean, they got to figure that out. The thing is with Van Roten. Van Roten's like the best pass blocking guard in football right now. So you can't really replace him. If you replace him, that's what you're replacing. Like, he doesn't give up pressure at all, but he doesn't get pushed in a run game. So that puts you in a bad spot, right? You're like, what matters most? And in a passing league, you should be able to pass, right? You got to be able to pass the ball. And that's what pisses me off right now. It's like, it feels like they should be in a position where they should be passing a lot because their offensive line is pretty good. Even besides Khalil Mack, nobody else really got pressure. I mean, there's a couple times where Chargers guys got pressure, but besides Khalil Mack just wrecking the damn game and just hating the Raiders and deciding he wanted to have Ben like he's in 2019, they did pretty good against Chargers, right? Aiden O'Connell still had some pretty good pockets there, especially late in the game. So I think that's what you have to sacrifice, but they're in a position where like they should be good passing the football and they're not. So it's like, what the hell, man? What is going on? Outside zone and inside zone. Finesse. They need to get more finesse, man. Finessing. They have a finesse offensive line and they're running power. Like Andre James comes from Tom Cable. He ran no damn power with Tom Cable. He ran like inside zone, outside zone, inside zone, outside zone, over and 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 over again. Right? That's what they got to do. They got to run zone. But this is not a zone team. This is not a zone scheme. So they don't do it. All right. I'm about to get out of here, guys. Some time. All right. Parlays this week. Any props this week? They still don't have any props for us. I didn't see any. But for this game, man, I think I don't know what it is, but I would take the under for whatever score. I think the under is around 44. I would take it because I don't think both these teams are going to score a lot of points in this game. I think is a little bit of mix that up, kind of back and forth. Not really a defensive match, but just it's kind of two bad offenses, really. And I hate to say that because the Raiders shouldn't have a bad offense. And I don't want to say it, but they kind of do. So it just hurts to say it. Oh, man. A couple of questions. How do I feel about Bo Nix? Talked about that earlier. I think Bo Nix, he's a pretty good guy. He's a little older too, though. So it's kind of one of those things like, is he playing with young guys? But I really liked this film last year. I think C.J. Stroud just has better receivers. I think Nico Collins is pretty good. And I think he's in a little bit of a better scheme. I think he has a little bit of a better run game too, I think. And I think he's just that dude's just a dog, I think. That's something that you kind of don't get in like watching film, right? Because I think at film, Ohio State's a little different. Like, he's just a dog. So, I mean, you can't. If you're a dog, man, and you got talent, you're gonna be good in the NFL. That's really how it is. Both. I think it's McDaniels play calling, which is predictable. I think that's a big problem right now. Is a lot of these guys just having a lot of their scheme. Chargers were all over it, man. A lot of Aiden O'Connell sacks were not even on him. He had nobody to throw to. So I think McDaniels a little figured out. He is. And then the quarterbacks, they're missing stuff and they're kind of like missing the reads. I think Jimmy Garoppolo's in over his head with his offense. I think it's a little bit too much for him, in my opinion. So I think that's a big deal for him. That his head's scrambling All right, guys. I'm get some last couple questions here. How would you grade Ziegler's draft class through 4 weeks? I mean, we really haven't seen that much from them, right? I still like Michael Mayer. Michael Mayer is getting open. He's working it. He's getting open. He's had some times where he's been wide open and he hasn't had the football thrown to him. So I like Mayer. Trey Tucker, I think he's still a little stiff to be a slot receiver. He's more like a post guy. That's why I don't know what their vision was with him with the quarterbacks they brought in. I don't know what they brought in, the speed outside guy with these guys. I don't know what they expected. But who else we got? I like Bennett too. I do like Bennett. And Tyree, I think he's got a lot of work to do. I think he's got to figure out that in the NFL, you just can't do one move. You're just not going to be able to bull rush people. Kind of the same way that I was talking about Caleb Williams a little bit earlier. Like sometimes these guys come in the NFL and you could just, Tyree Wilson can just wake up on a Saturday and bull rush the Big 12, right? It doesn't even you know what I mean? You can't do the NFL, man. No, that's not going to work. It doesn't matter who you are. All right. Let's see. Could Bo Nick? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. With this regime. Yeah, Tebow. Yes, and the cat. Don't forget the cat. William's right. The cat. Don't forget the cat here. Who has to, actually? It's BD. BD actually went to play at Stony Brook, and he played D1 technically, because it's FCS, so he technically played D1 football. But I played community college football. I don't know if Matt played college football, but I played community college. But I was all region, if that means. I don't know if that means. But BD is obviously the best one because he actually played like at a college. I don't know how much BD played over there. He says he was just a special teams guy, but he actually went to a D1, so that's for sure. Parham at center, Muffet. I do like Parham at center though. That's it, guys. All right, guys. Should we tank? To be honest, like if they don't win this week, or they don't, I'm saying if they lose the last 2 weeks, first of all, I think Garoppolo gets benched. Let's start there. I think Garoppolo gets benched if they lose the next 2 weeks. All right. So if that happens, he gets benched. Then we put Aiden O'Connell in, and then we ride with Aiden. If Aiden is good, then I guess not. But if Aiden is Aiden, then, or he looks like he kind of did last week and he's got up and down, then yeah, we're going to be getting a quarterback. We're going to be getting somebody really high, I think. What's your fantasy head coach option in the event? Fantasy head coach, to be honest, the more I talk to myself, I really like Dan Quinn. I do. I really do like the Dan Quinn more than I talk myself into it. Just because I think like Nate Hobbs would play a lot better. I think he'd be a great fit for Nate Hobbs. I think he'd be a great fit for the corners on the team. A lot of these guys, it made it work, man. I think he could get the best out of the players. People love playing for him. He's a leader, too. Leader of grown men. That's the main thing, man. That's what the Raiders need. They need a damn leader, for sure. That's what's up. Yeah, man. Yeah. It's all right, man. We're good, man. We're good. We're about to get out of here, guys. I really appreciate everybody coming here. We got to 100 today. I really appreciate everybody coming here. All your questions, going through all your things, asking all your questions. I appreciate it. Hope you guys enjoy this. Probably do this again after week 8, or do this every quarter. Kind of do this, and then because we're coming back with Friday Night Live next week. Glenn will be back. He has a little vacation. You know what I'm saying? Getting his aura right, whatever. You know what I mean? So doing all that, but. I really appreciate you guys coming and chilling with me tonight. We went about an hour. All right. Got some good questions. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And I'm out of here. So, like I said, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe. Me and Matt will be doing the preview tomorrow. So check out for that. We're doing a preview. I got the Aiden O'Connell up. Also, join the membership. I got a whole Aiden O'Connell breakdown. Boom. I'm gonna start doing those more live too. So join the membership to get more of those videos live and those type of things. So let me know. Peace.